a twisted version of Spider-Man awakens, with memories not his own and powers beyond logic. Superman senses a catastrophic shift in the multiverse, and it's coming from Spider-Man. But this isn't Peter Parker. This Spider-Man talks like Otto Octavius and thinks like a god. As cities tremble under his webbed justice, Superman arrives, not to talk, but to end him. And what no one knows yet, one of them isn't from this universe at all. Multiversal tiers are opening. Heroes are glitching out. Something's wrong. Spider-Man returns, but he's colder, smarter, and unstoppable. Superman's world is next, and he knows it. One believes in responsibility. The other believes in absolute control. And when gods clash, Earth is just collateral. The city wasn't asleep. It was holding its breath. Atop the blackened tower of Oscorp, lightning danced across the shattered glass dome. Machines sparked and hissed. Surrounding a containment pod cracked open like a ribcage. Inside stood a figure, half covered in webbing, half bathed in smoke. Not Peter Parker. He blinked slowly. Memory flooded in, but it wasn't his memory. Octavius? No. I'm more. Better. Beyond. His body moved like Peter's, but the mind behind those eyes was sharper, crueler, precise. This was the superior Spider-Man, but something even deeper had changed this time. Somewhere in the multiverse, timelines had collapsed, and something dark had crawled through the cracks. He stepped out barefoot, the broken glass crunching beneath him. His suit began forming organically, slick, armored, dark crimson, with sharp, reinforced spider limbs sprouting from his back like a monstrous crown. The eyes glowed a deep, pulsing red. Power without compassion. Finally. Meanwhile, across the sky in Metropolis, Clark Kent stood atop the Daily Planet, staring at a ripple forming in the clouds. The ripple shimmered, cracked like glass, then dissolved. But Superman felt it. In his bones. Lois called from behind him. Another anomaly? Clark didn't answer. His fists clenched. This was the third this week. The timelines were bleeding. He's here, Clark whispered. But not our Peter. He took off. In Queens, chaos had already begun. The superior Spider-Man dropped into the middle of Times Square, where a gang war had exploded into gunfire and smoke. Without hesitation, he webbed 3 rifles in a single movement, tore apart a getaway car with one mechanical limb, and impaled the lead thug to a billboard. People screamed. Phones came out. And Spider-Man smiled. But it wasn't the warm, awkward grin of Peter Parker. It was something off. This is justice, not kindness. Learn the difference. His voice had a slight robotic modulation. Cold. Calculated. The media began live-streaming it immediately. Spider-Man's gone rogue, said one anchor. Or maybe this isn't Spider-Man at all? Back at the Watchtower, Batman and Wonder Woman monitored the feed. He's changed, Diana said. No, Bruce replied, typing furiously. He's merged. This isn't just Otto taking over Peter's body again. This is something bigger. A superior Spider-Man pulled from another universe. One where he never failed. One where he won. Then why is he here? She asked. Bruce's screen blinked. Multiversal signature. Earth 84911. A warning. Temporal overlap detected. Because our Earth is next, Bruce muttered. Superman found him hovering above a collapsing bridge, holding an entire bus of people with a single mechanical limb, while his other limbs dismantled an armed drone swarm. You're welcome, Superior Spider-Man said flatly as Superman landed. You're not supposed to be here, Clark said, hovering. Neither are the problems I'm fixing, he snapped back. You're scaring people. Good. Fear obeys faster than hope. Superman narrowed his eyes. That's not how Spider-Man talks. The superior one laughed. That's because he lost. He played hero. I play God. Clark moved fast. Webbing moved faster. In a blink, they clashed mid-air. Shockwaves shattered windows for blocks. Superior Spider-Man moved with eerie precision, predicting Clark's punches, deflecting them with energy-charged webbing and mechanical limbs. His suit adapted, pulsing with an unstable energy signature. A black sigil glowed on his chest, a fusion of the spider emblem and something more alien. "You're not the only one who's absorbed Kryptonian DNA," he whispered. Clark's heart dropped. Back at Oscorp's ruins, a secret chamber lit up. A monitor blinked. Project. Red X activated. A gloved hand, green, scaled, tapped the screen. Lex Luthor watched through a private satellite. Beside him stood an imprisoned man wrapped in broken webbing. Peter Parker. "Let's see how far your superior version gets before he breaks," Lex said with a smirk. The impact crater still glowed red-hot. Chunks of concrete smoked. The Hudson River hissed where molten steel had kissed its surface. Above it all, a red cape flapped violently in the wind. Superman hovered mid-air, shoulder-torn, heat vision still glowing from the last blast. Across from him, suspended by 4 mechanical spider limbs fused into his spine, was the ultimate superior Spider-Man. His suit was no longer just enhanced, it was evolving. The black-red weave pulsed with tendrils of Kryptonian tech and unstable multiversal energy. A holographic HUD blinked across his lens. Kryptonian cells, resistant, not immune. One limb morphed into a plasma cannon. Boom. Superman zipped left, but the blast scorched a cargo ship a mile away. A second limb lashed out and wrapped around Clark's ankle, yanking him mid-flight like a ragdoll. They smashed through a skyscraper. Glass rained down like glitter. Civilians screamed. And Spider-Man didn't flinch. Back at the watchtower, Batman was yelling. Clark's holding back. Diana paced. "He doesn't want to kill Peter." "That's not Peter," Bruce snapped. "That's a version of Otto Octavius, who injected Kryptonian DNA into himself and then got corrupted by the fractured web of life and destiny. So multiversal spider magic mixed with mad science and alien cells," she deadpanned. "Exactly. And guess who built the machine that pulled him here?" Diana's eyes narrowed. "Lex." Somewhere deep underground, Lex Luthor smiled from behind reinforced glass. He sipped wine while watching the chaos unfold on 12 screens. "Let the gods kill each other," he muttered. "Then we pick the pieces." Beside him, strapped to a wall of damp concrete and humming wires, our Peter Parker stirred. His mask was torn. He was barely conscious, but his spider sense still screamed. "You think he's better than me?" Peter whispered weakly. Lex leaned in. "No, Peter. I think he's perfect." Back on the battlefield, Superior Spider-Man's voice echoed through the streets. "You think you're Earth's savior, Kal-El. But you let it rot in hesitation. Criminals breed under your mercy. I don't forgive. I fix." Superman's eyes narrowed. "You don't fix. You control." Same thing. They collided mid-air, this time both going full force. The shockwave cracked streets for blocks. Superman threw a punch so fast it shattered the sound barrier. But Spider-Man caught it, with an augmented arm reinforced with vibranium webbing and Doom-Tech plating. "You've been busy," Clark growled. "I've been preparing." Then, injectors launched from Spider-Man's wrists, tiny nanobots. Superman dodged, but some struck his cheek. They glowed green. Clark gasped. "Kryptonite nanites?" Spider-Man grinned. "You're not the only genius on the playground." Suddenly, the sky above them ripped open like paper. A multiversal rift. Out of it spilled flickering images. Dozens of alternate Supermen fighting alternate Spider-Men, some friends, some enemies, all overlapping. Time and space bent like melting wax. And from the edge of the rift, something looked back. A single eye. A glowing red spider eye the size of a moon. Miles away, in Wakanda, Shuri gasped as her readings exploded. Something is waking up inside the web of life. In Kamartaj, Dr. Strange's hands trembled as the mirror dimension fractured. By the Vishanti, this isn't just a crossover. This is an infection. The fight raged on. Spider-Man wrapped Superman in reinforced webbing laced with quantum encryption. "You can't escape this," Clark growled. His pupils glowed blue. "I'm not escaping." And then he flew straight up, dragging Spider-Man with him higher, higher into the stratosphere. The Earth shrank below them. Spider-Man's limbs froze from the cold. But he adapted, nanotech wrapping him in a heat shield. "Nice try." But then Superman whispered, "Let's see you evolve past this." And he dropped them both, falling. Mach 30. Straight down. They hit the Atlantic like meteors. Tsunami. The entire eastern seaboard trembled. Underwater, Spider-Man clung to Superman's throat. "You'd risk drowning to stop me?" Clark coughed up water. "I don't need to breathe. Do you?" Suddenly, a blinding pulse. Boom tube activation. A swirl of energy tore the ocean apart, and out stepped a dark, glowing figure. Red X. Half spider, half Omega-level mutant. Fully weaponized. And he looked identical to Superior Spider-Man, except darker. Hungrier. "You're early," Spider-God said. Red X cracked his neck. "You're slow." Then they both looked at Superman. "Let's dissect him together." Round pushpin cut to the Hall of Justice. Wonder Woman slams her lasso on the table. "We need help. The multiverse is collapsing." Flash zips in, shaking. "I just ran through 5 timelines. All had dead Spider-Men." Bruce turns to her. "Then we bring back the one person who's defeated Otto before." Diana's eyes widen. "You don't mean?" Bruce nods. "Call Miles Morales." Round pushpin back underground, Peter Parker yells in agony. His mind is splintered. Visions of hundreds of alternate selves flashing in front of him. But one message repeats across the timelines. "You have to stop him. You're the only Peter left." Round pushpin back, above the Atlantic. Superman, cracked and bleeding, floats above the water as Red X and Superior Spider-Man advance. He whispers, "I'm not your enemy." Superior Spider-Man laughs, "You're in my way." And Red X growls, "Then die." The ocean boiled. Superman floated mid-air, soaked, injured, and alone. His cape hung in tatters. Sparks flickered from a gash in his side, where nanites had eaten through the Kryptonian skin. Facing him, silhouetted by lightning, stood 2 monsters. The ultimate Superior Spider-Man, mutated by multiversal corruption and infused with Kryptonian DNA. And now beside him, Red X, a darker clone forged from failed timelines, raw rage, and experimental Omega Force. "You bleed now," Red X said. "Let's see if you scream too." Superman didn't answer. He just charged. The first punch from Red X cracked the sky. The second sent Superman hurtling into a cargo freighter, splitting it in 2. Metal screamed. Fuel ignited. Boom. Superior Spider-Man launched forward, webs laced with liquid vibranium, striking Clark mid-air and pinning him to the hull. "Your reign of restraint is over," he growled. "Time to make way for real power." "You sound like Zod," Clark spat. He failed. "I won't." Red X raised a glowing blade formed from crystallized dark matter. "Hold him still." But Superman's eyes flared red. "I held back before. I won't again." Heat vision like a sunburst. Red X screamed as the beam struck him square in the chest, launching him miles back. In that split second, Superman ripped through the webbing, cracked Spider-Man across the jaw, and shot into the stratosphere, dragging him upward by the neck. In orbit, Earth's curve glowing beneath them, Superman squeezed. "You're not Peter, and I'm not your pawn." But Superior Spider-Man smirked. "You still don't get it." His chest opened. Not metaphorically. His suit literally peeled back, revealing a stolen Phantom Zone shard, glowing with alien energy. "You think I came here to conquer? I came to unleash something worse than both of us." He slammed the shard against Superman's chest. The Phantom Zone opened. Half of the upper atmosphere warped as the Phantom Gate cracked open. Out spilled distorted energy, screaming souls, forgotten villains, and something even worse. Zod. But not the one Clark knew. This one had no face, only fire. His body rebuilt 1,000 times across collapsed timelines. His voice echoed like steel dragged across bone. "Kal-El, you're late." Superman backed away, his breath freezing. Superior Spider-Man whispered, "Say hello to your replacement." Round pushpin, meanwhile, New York City, 4 hours earlier. In the ruins of Oscorp's lower labs, Peter Parker crawled through blood and rubble, eyes dazed, mind flickering with 1,000 spider memories. He'd seen everything. Every version of himself that failed. Every world where Otto took over. Where Miles died. Where Gwen never existed. And now this. A version of himself so twisted, even villains look soft. Suddenly, A hand pulled him from the wreckage. Miles Morales. "You're late," Miles said. "And bleeding." Peter coughed. "Better than dead." "Barely." Round pushpin watchtower, command hub. Batman activated the emergency Omega beacon. "I've contacted everyone. We're running out of time." "Everyone?" Wonder Woman asked. Bruce nodded. "Even the ones we swore never to contact." A glowing portal opened behind them. A woman stepped through, half symbiote, half sorceress. "Gwenom Strange. You called. Let's tear this spider god down." Round pushpin back in orbit above Earth. Zod's new form, more energy than matter, punched Superman into the upper atmosphere. The sound was deafening. The clouds below twisted like a cyclone. Superior Spider-Man watched from above, calculating. 2 Kryptonians. 1 world. Let's see which breaks first. But before Zod could finish his second strike, a blast of bioelectricity lit up the sky. High voltage zap. Red and black streaked through the clouds. Miles Morales, wearing a prototype nanosuit, slammed into Spider-Man with a venom strike strong enough to stun a symbiote. Spider-Man snarled, recovering fast. "Another weak copy?" Miles flipped, webbed a meteor from the debris field, and hurled it like a baseball. "I'm the version that wins." As Miles and Superior Spider-Man clashed across the upper sky, red webs, venom strikes, blinding speed, Superman grappled Zod midair, their clash forming a storm vortex over the entire East Coast. Zod fired heat vision that burned purple. Superman countered with solar flare mode, his skin glowing gold. The two collided so hard the moon visibly shook. Back on Earth, news anchor screamed, "Is this the end of days? Is Spider-Man behind this?" People watched worldwide, some cheering for Spider-Man, others crying for Superman. The world divided. Round pushpin underground in LexCorp. Lex Luthor stared at a countdown on his monitor. 1 minute and 45 seconds until Project Weblock activates. His AI assistant spoke. "Sir, if the Weblock pulse fires, it could erase all spider totems, including your own version." Lex smirked. "That's the point." He turned to a containment chamber where Spider-God Red X was regenerating rapidly. "Clean the board. Build from scratch." Round pushpin in the clouds, above it all. Miles pinned Superior Spider-Man to a falling satellite dish. "You've lost control, man. This isn't superiority. This is madness." But Spider-Man's eyes flared red. "Madness built this world. I'm just making it honest." Suddenly, a voice cut through time. Peter Parker, in a prototype suit stitched with pieces of his classic suit, flew in via glider-webbed wings. "Let him go, Otto. You're done." Ultimate Superior Spider-Man froze. "Peter." For a split second, he hesitated. Then, the sky turned red. A shockwave rippled across the Earth as Lex's WE block device activated. Every spider in the world stopped. Miles clutched his chest, gasping. Gwenom Strange dropped her blade. Peter screamed, and oh. And Superior Spider-Man vanished. Zod screamed in rage, his body destabilizing. Superman flew forward and, boom, he punched Zod straight through the Phantom Gate before it slammed shut behind him. Silence. The skies cleared. But Spider-Man was gone. Round pushpin final scene. Lex stood on a helipad, wind tearing at his coat. The spider threat is gone. And Superman's too injured to chase shadows. Behind him, a shadow moved. Peter, Miles, and Gwenom appeared through a stealth portal. Peter's voice was ice. "You just erased a piece of the multiverse." Lex smiled. "You're welcome." "We're not here to thank you," Gwenom growled. Fade to black. 3 days after the WE block pulse. The world believed it was over. Spider-Man was gone. Superman was grounded, still healing beneath the fortress of Solitude's solar lamps. Lex Luthor was parading across media outlets, hailed as the savior, who neutralized the multiversal spider threat. But beneath the surface, everything was wrong. Round pushpin in the shadows of Earth, 616b, a fractured multiversal shard. A figure floated in complete stillness, trapped in temporal freeze. Half digital, half organic. Ultimate Superior Spider-Man, not dead but rewriting himself. The WE block hadn't destroyed him. It had reformatted him. I see now they didn't erase me. They recoded me. And in this new code, I am the virus. His body pulsed. A spider limb twitched. He was coming back. Round Pushpin, New York City, Parker Safe House. Peter, Miles, and Gwenom sat around a holographic map. Red dots glitched. Miles tapped the screen. Spider totems dying. One by one. Peter clenched his jaw. He's not gone. Gwenom nodded. WE block didn't erase him. It just broke the web enough for him to infect it. Peter looked up. He's turning the web of life into a weapon. Round Pushpin Metropolis, LexCorp Tower. Lex poured whiskey under a glowing neon skyline. Behind him, a hidden vault hissed open. Inside floated a shard of corrupted spider DNA, laced with omega energy. Suddenly, alarm screamed. Lex turned and saw a spider symbol burning into his monitors. A voice whispered across every speaker. "You should have killed me, Lex." The lights shattered. Round Pushpin Watchtower, Emergency Council. Batman, Wonder Woman, Shuri, and Dr. Fate gathered. Clark, bandaged, silent, watched from a corner. Dr. Fate projected a multiversal web, now torn and dripping in red. "It's not a web anymore," he said. "It's a noose." Miles paced. "He's hunting totems, consuming them." Peter stepped forward. "Then we give him a totem he can't resist." Shuri blinked. "You." Peter shook his head. "No, not me. We reboot the one spider he never controlled." Round Pushpin Lab 42, Wakandan Subdimension Vault. Inside a containment pod, frozen in stasis, floated the essence of a Spider-Man variant who never lost. A being with no past, no auto, no compromise. Codename Arachnite. Part spider, part sorcerer. All vengeance. Peter stared at the pod. Time to wake up the ace. Round Pushpin Earth 84911. A broken web zone. Ultimate Superior Spider-Man stalked across the wreckage of collapsed timelines. He found another totem. Weak. Glitched. Spider-Ham. Torn. Bleeding. Still smiling. "You can't win, Otto," he wheezed. "You're still just a man who wanted to be more." Otto snarled. "And now I'm everything." He reached forward and ripped the web line from Spider-Ham's core. Another totem down. Another piece added to his power. Suddenly paused. A new web line appeared. Sharp. Silent. Dark as night. His eye twitched. "What is that?" Round Pushpin back on Earth. A rooftop. Thunder rumbling. The sky cracked with red lightning. Peter, Miles, and Gwenom stood ready, watching as the portal opened. From it stepped Arachnight, white eyes glowing, cape fluttering like broken silk, fingers wrapped in mystic webbing. "You called a monster," he said, voice layered with ancient rage. Peter stepped back. "No, we called a killer to hunt something worse." Arachnite looked up. "Where's Otto?" Location: the broken web zone, multiversal collapse imminent. The sky tore like silk. Reality folded in on itself. Dead timelines bled into the living world. At the center stood the ultimate superior Spider-Man, no longer a man, no longer Otto, now something beyond. His limbs glowed. His suit mutated constantly. Weblands of every spider totem he consumed swirled around him like ghost threads. "I have rewritten fate," he growled. "I am the web now." But above him a shadow dropped. Arachnite, cape flowing like smoke, eyes burning with eldritch fury. His voice cut through the static of collapsing time. "You think you're the web. I'm the blade that cuts it." They collided midair. Fist met fang. Spell met strike. Reality warped. Each punch shifted universes. New York turned into Wakanda, then into Gotham, then into ruins. Boom. Superior Spider-Man launched all 6 mechanical limbs. Arachnite vanished into smoke. Reappeared behind him, slashing a mystic blade across his back. "You're fast," Otto hissed. "I'm inevitable," Arachnite whispered. Round Pushpin meanwhile, Earth HQ, hidden chamber. Peter Parker stared into the mirror. Miles stood behind him. "You're not going?" Peter's eyes were hollow. "I lost to him once. Almost lost myself. But you're the real Spider-Man." Peter grabbed his mask. No. I'm the one who always gets back up. Round pushpin back in the broken web zone. A Ratch Knight had Otto pinned, mystic webs slicing through his armor. You're done. Otto laughed. No, he's done. Suddenly, a beam of red Kryptonian energy fired from Otto's chest. A Ratch Knight screamed, blasted backward. Otto rose, part spider, part Kryptonian, part timeline devourer. There is no thread you can cut. I am the last thread. Wrong, said a voice behind him. Peter. Original. Classic suit. Torn, dirty, but standing. You're not the last thread, Otto. I am. Otto turned. You're a relic. Peter stepped forward. You're a virus. Suddenly, Miles and Gwenum joined. A Ratch Knight stood too, bleeding but smirking. 4 threads are stronger than 1. Otto screamed and launched all weapons at once. The final battle began. Peter dodged, slid under Otto's limb, and punched him in the jaw. Miles struck from above. Bioelectric venom blast straight to Otto's spine. Gwenum wrapped him in a symbiote web. A Ratch Knight cast a binding spell made of ancient totemic silk. Otto was frozen midair, trapped. His voice cracked. You can't kill me. Peter looked him in the eye. We're not here to kill you. He held up something glowing. A reset thread. Pure multiversal silk. Only usable by the true spider totem. Peter touched it to Otto's chest. We're here to fix the web. Flash. The entire web of life exploded in light. Every spider totem Otto consumed was released, swirling free into the timelines. Otto's form crumbled. His voice faded. I could have saved everything. And then he was gone. Round pushpin Metropolis, LexCorp Tower. Lex stared at the collapsing portal, his plans disintegrating. Superman floated outside the window, arms crossed. This time, Clark said, you stay grounded. He blasted the vault open. Lex ran. Justice followed. Round pushpin New York City, sunrise. Peter, Miles, Gwenum, and a Ratch Knight sat on a rooftop, watching the skyline. The world was safe. The web healed. But something had changed. Miles looked up. Think we'll ever be normal again? Peter smiled. We never were. A Ratch Knight vanished into smoke. Gwenum swung off into the city. Peter stood up, mask in hand. Time to be Spider-Man again. Just Spider-Man. End.